Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you've had a better game week than I. As you can see on screen, my FPL score is of 34 points, but what I've got above me is my score and rank from live FPL at the moment. Because there's a few bonus points and things that haven't been added into the game, I'm recording just after the Arsenal game finished where West Ham have won 2-0. Again, very, very frustrating game week, but what you can also see from on screen is that I'm still a Haaland owner, which shows that Archer will come on and get an extra 5 points, putting us to 41 points. And my safety score was 43, so it was a very, very small red arrow from about 7k red arrow, but again it's two red arrows in a row. We've gone from just inside the top 100k to now in the 190 k as well. So we do have some issues to talk about. Once again though, if you've been following along on Twitter, you'd see the moves I've made. So my team will look a little bit different from the last video. Couple moves I made last week was to get Ollie Watkins and Leno in the team for Matty Turner and not Matty Turner, for Sanchez and for Darwin. Again, if I hadn't made that move, Watkins has gone and got two back-to-back 2-pointers. Darwin goes and gets an 8-pointer this week, scores against Burnley, so very, very frustrating. And then in the 2 weeks I've owned Leno now. Leno got a 1-pointer and a 0, and Areola's gone and got an 8 and a 10. So my transfers have been hindering, but we've been playing the better fixtures. Like Leno had Burnley at home and loses 2-0. Areola has Arsenal away and wins 2-0. So they're the small margins in FPL. We lose a bit of rank there because a lot of people are just set and forget Areola, and what do? So the other couple points that we've missed out on so far are Pedro Porro. In a 4-2 loss has gone and got a couple bonus points as well. I know the clean sheets are going to dry up a little bit for Tottenham, but Pedro Porro, if you don't own him, you need him. He's just so attacking. He just does so much for that Spurs team. He's brilliant. The rest of my defense is a bit of a concern. The double Arsenal into Trippier and Guehi, I just don't know who to own. I think Trent's the only must own almost defender, but again, he's priced up about 8.3 million. I don't know what I'm going to do defensively. Arsenal just don't look like keeping many clean sheets. It's concerning. They're statistically one of the better defenses in the league, but look at Saliba, 1-1-2-7-2-1 in the last, 5 game weeks. What do? I missed Gabriel's goal here, so I had his 10-pointer on the bench. Again, he got the clean sheet there against Brighton, but again, he goes 2-1, 2-6, 10-1. Again, you're looking at Fulham, Palace, Forest. Over the next few games, you'd expect Arsenal to keep some clean sheets. Again, they're not priority transfers for me. Then you look at someone like a Kieran Trippier. So since that Man United, assist and clean sheet goes 1, -1, 0, 2, 1. So I'm just not hitting winners at the moment with my defense. Now, him playing Liverpool, City and Villa, we know he's not fantastic, but there's so many other problems I've got in this team that we might need to just keep Kieran Trippier and pray for an attacking return. But again, I'm not thrilled with my defense. What's been saving me has been Hwang Hee-chan as well. I think since I've owned him, I've gotten a couple decent returns from him. I'm pretty sure I brought him in for the Arsenal game, but he sat on my bench. Then I got a 10, 2-2-2. Looked very good in that Chelsea game, but then got a 14-pointer for us this week. Again, 2 goals before half-time and then come off. He's off to the Asian Cup very, very soon as well. He's only got 1 more game week, so he is definitely in our transfer plans. Son, we get very lucky to get a return from him. They were 4-0 down. He goes and gets an assist. He's just been ticking over nicely, and they've got Bournemouth this week. So Son's going to hang around. Salah, I was going to captain Son as well this week. It wouldn't have changed heaps. You get an extra few points. I would have got a small green arrow, but it wouldn't have changed my rank overly by much. Gordon, again, 90 minutes. Forrest just looked absolutely fantastic. We rolled with Haaland again. I don't have any news on him at this stage. Really want him available for Sheffield United. I think Pep might keep him, ready for Newcastle because they don't play again after the weekend for another, big block of games there. So I think Haaland misses against Sheffield United personally, but I don't think it's worth a sell because there's no way he's not back by middle of January. So I'm pretty certain that Haaland will hold off in our team. We do get Palmer back in our team for next week. So let's have a look at some potential transfers. We're going to jump over to Fantasy Football Hub. I'll see you there in a sec. All right, let's get straight into it. What I have set up here, guys, is some data from the last 5 games on Fantasy Football Hub. So if you use Fantasy Football Hub, you can set a custom template here for the data that you want. So what you can see that I've got set up here is appearances, starts, minutes, shots on target, goals, key passes, big chances created, assists, expected goals overall, but then I've got my non-pen XGI here as well, which is what it's filtered by over the last 5 game weeks. And I've tried to take out Salah, Son, and Haaland because everyone's either got them or you're not really looking to bring them in at this stage anyway. So we've filtered them out. What I've got this filtered by is non-pen XG over the last 5 games. What you can see is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He obviously didn't start this weekend. He come on and looked okay for Everton once again. Has the highest non-pen XG in the league over the last 5 game weeks. But what that has resulted in is no goals and 1 assist. So the XG's there. Calvert-Lewin is someone who has been in and around the box. He misses chances, but because he misses them from so close, as we load up his profile here, you'll see on his heat map, he's someone that is in and around the box all the time. I've been saying that I really do like Dominic Calvert-Lewin as an option. At 5.8 million, he's a little bit of a stretch because if you're going from Archer, you kind of need 1.3, 1.4, in order to get to him. The fixtures aren't the worst. Wolves, Villa, Fulham, Spurs. Again, I like the punt of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm not going to be going there personally, but I think someone who I would like to go close to is Chris Wood. So obviously a lot of his data is going to be inflated from what happened at the weekend. What I've seen is that Taiwo Awoniyi is out for the next, 6 weeks or so. They're saying like mid to late February, Awoniyi is going to be back. I like the way that Nuno set up this Forest team. I know it's only been 2 games. I wish I had a bit more of his data here on this screen. But I know it's only been 2 games, but Chris Wood just looks to bring Alanga and Hudson-Odoi and Gibbs-White into the game. Their creativity then can find him. There was also a chance where Alanga really should have squared it to Chris Wood before they even scored their first goal. I am very, very likely bringing in Chris Wood this week into our team for Cameron Archer. So in order for me to do that, I need to make some money. So that is definitely going to be one of my transfers. But what you can see is that 8 shots, 5 on target. But what I like about Chris Wood is all 8 shots have been inside the box. He is going to get into really good goal scoring positions, and he is a very, very good finisher of the football. You could see that in his finishes from the weekend. I know his first goal is a tap in, but it requires him to make the run, commit the defender, and then drop off into space by himself so he can tap it in. The second goal is absolutely fantastic. The way he goes through and dinks it over with his left foot. And then his third goal still takes a lot of composure and a lot of quality. And he goes around Dubravka and then slots it in with his left foot. Like Chris Wood is a bit of a meme because of he's played for Burnley and he's, been that sort of lump it up to striker. But what he does is you can see he's created 2 big chances. He's got an assist. He's played 3 key passes. He's scored 4 goals. Like he is involved in this Forest attack, and Divock Origi is just not playing. So I'm very certain that for the next 6 or 7 weeks, Chris Wood is going to be the number 9 for Nottingham Forest, and with the amount of chances they create, and then they play on the break, and then because they play on the break, he gets into really good goal scoring opportunities. So I'm very certain that Chris Wood will be in my team. I was talking about it prior to the Newcastle game, but I wanted to see how he looked. Bit frustrating that he's gone and scored 3 goals because now a lot of people are going to go, oh, should I get on Chris Wood? Because I would have got on anyway. And I'd liked what I saw even in the first half for Chris Wood. So very, very happy. McTominay here, very high non-pen XG, not going near that. João Pedro has just come off scoring 2 penalties. If João Pedro was locked in this team, he would be in my team. They look so good when João Pedro is up and firing. My issue is between Welbeck, Ferguson, and João Pedro. One of them has to get benched all the time. Right now, it looks to be Evan Ferguson, but I don't know. And the fact that I don't know who's going to play frustrates me because when he's on the pitch, his numbers are fantastic. Jared Bowen, very, very solid player. Another assist again this morning for the Souček goal, which I haven't seen. Heard it's pretty controversial. He is someone that I really do need to look at getting back into my team. He'll probably come in when Son and Salah go off to AFCON and the Asian Cup because got to replace at least one of them with somebody. And I think Bowen is just that player. Nicholas Jackson, I don't even want to talk about him. He's just the biggest troll. But the next player I want to bring up is Alejandro Garnacho. So what you can see here, in 5 games, he's played 413 minutes. So he's almost played every minute of those games as well. 22 shots, and 17 of those inside the box. The issue is only 4 of them have been on target. He has gone and got some returns, though. And what I like is he's got 2 goals, which were both obviously against Aston Villa, but 6 key passes and a big chance created with an assist. But he's, 2 goals he should have got in the, 5 games, and he's got them back with decent enough XA as well. And I think he's just starting to settle into that role on that left wing. We've seen Rashford sort of come back into the team, but Garnacho's been the one that has hung around and is still playing. Again, gets into these really attacking areas, which I really like. He's sitting in at 4.7 million, so he's a really good enabler for our teams as well. Then he gets Forest, Spurs, who are going to be absolutely decimated by, no Basuma, no Son, injuries to Brennan Johnson. There's at the moment an injury to Christian Romero, so the defense is now changing. So, Emerson Royale and Ben Davies played at the back today. So I think Spurs at Old Trafford could be a game where Garnacho does well. Then he gets Wolves, West Ham, Villa, who we've just seen him play really well against, Luton, Fulham, Everton, Sheffield, Brentford, Chelsea. Like the run of games is very, very good for Garnacho, all the way up to probably our wild card. Again, at 4.7, you don't have to play him every week. And that's the beauty of having guys like Garnacho, guys like Gordon and Palmer, who are all returning, but we don't need them every single week. So I'm very close to probably pulling the trigger on Garnacho in as well as a bit of a punt over the Hwang punt, because Hwang obviously with an injury, and then I don't think Wolves are going to play him before he goes off to Asian Cup anyway. So that's 2 really good options. Richarlison is definitely someone to keep an eye on, especially with Son going off to the Asian Cup. I don't know. I'm worried a bit with Richarlison, because how is he going to be impacted by not having Son in the team? Because Son is a fantastic footballer, creates his own opportunities, but that also gives Richarlison better delivery, gives him more one-on-one space inside the box. If Brian Gill's the one that's playing out in the left wing, what does that mean for Richarlison? So I'd like to see what Richarlison does ahead of Man United, Brentford, Everton, Brighton. I'm not sold. He has been very, very good. He's in great form at the moment, but how's he going to look without Heung-min Son? That is my question. So I would be pumping the brakes a little bit if you've got Richarlison, because I just want to see how Spurs play. Does it mean that Pedro Porro needs to be there creating a bit more width? What you can see is I've already taken Hwang out. Pascal Gross is somebody that I'm looking at as well. Can I get his stats here? I can. Oh, it's not going to be how I want it. Gross is someone I'm interested in. He plays 90 minutes every single week, but I'm not sold. What I'm thinking is it's going to be ideally a Garnacho and Chris Wood in this week for me. What that means, so if I make those transfers there, let's optimize the team here using the hub tool. Again, they think I should play a 4-5-1. I do understand that. Gordon's going to be the one that comes out for me. I think Chris Wood against Manchester United at home to Nottingham Forest, I think that is going to be, the City Ground is what I was trying to scrounge for there, is what I look at. So I know Leno plays against Arsenal. I'm just going to have to cop that, because I know Brighton are not going to not score against West Ham. So Areola they've just kept 3 clean sheets. Oh, and I got Kyle Walker in the team too. Whoops. I was thinking about that, but we're going to leave Kieran Trippier in there. And I know Trippier plays against Liverpool this week, but I don't know. I'm really not sure what to do with Kieran Trippier. I don't want to take a hit if I don't need to. That's part of my dilemma here. I could easily take a hit this week, get Kieran Trippier, get Kyle Walker in, but we saw what happened when Kyle Walker played Sheffield United last time. He cost me a clean sheet because I had Vardiol at the back at that point in time, and he did some silliness. But this is what my team's going to probably look like. Depending on Haaland news, I'll probably still start Haaland, but I doubt he's going to play. So you're probably taking a Trippier off anyway for Haaland. So how do I make the switch here now? What's going on here? Oh, I've got to make the transfers. This new hub. So you're probably doing that to start with, and then Trippier is probably the first sub. like that. That's probably what my team looks like going into the game week. Again, double Arsenal. I don't know how I feel about that. Porro, Son, I like the look of. Garnacho, I like long term. Chris Wood, I like long term. I just think the hub hasn't updated Wood's minutes yet because he has started both games for Nottingham Forest. So once that happens, I'd expect the team rating, potentially at 93, to probably go up a little bit more, same with the expected points. So that's what I'm thinking about long term. Then going into 21, you're probably looking at Bowen in for Son as a one move at this point. And then I'm thinking of holding Salah because he's at 13.3, but I paid 12.5 for him. So there's almost, there's about 0.4-ish in growth there. And that is substantial money. I don't want to just lose value on someone like Salah when I know I'm going to keep him anyway. So maybe for our sake and for Liverpool's sake, I'm sort of hoping that Egypt get bundled out very quickly out of the African Cup of Nations. But that is my team ahead of game week 20. Let me know in the comments if I should take that hit to get Kyle Walker in or if using those two transfers are optimal. So best of luck, short turnaround, and I'll see you guys next week for our review of game week 20.